Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say very, very, very big welcome to ICT712 Information Technology Project Management. My name is Fadi Kotob. I have been KOI for many years now. I've been teaching in public uni for many years also. I actually joined the industry of the education industry around 2008, and I've been teaching since across many, many different places. I love teaching, I love my students, and it's all about trying to make a difference in the lives of the people that I go and touch. So I really love being here. I really love to go and make sure I give you a very good educational experience. And I really love to go and making sure you guys feel that I treat you as individuals, not as numbers when you actually come and study in my courses, in my classes. You will get to know me much, much more as we go and start moving along in the course. This course is going to be interactive course. It is a 3-hour session. And the way that I've done the 3-hour session is I've done it to be interactive, which means I might cover something and then I might go to the exercise that is related to applying that knowledge. And then you guys will be given an exercise, 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever that time is, where you are going to be expected to go through all of this, reading all of this information to be able to ensure that you don't simply learn and listen to my theory and all of these things I want to communicate to you, but I want you to go and feel, how am I going to go and apply this, and how does this really relate and applies to what actually happens in practice. It's very, very important to maintain your engagement with me from the beginning all the way to the end. It's very important to engage every single week. It's I would dare to say it's very important for you not to miss any classes at all. And the reason why is because you will notice that we have week 4, we have a quiz. Week 6, we're going to have a midterm exam, and then we're going to have a final exam, and we're going to have a group assessment. And what you will notice is that throughout the classes you'll be doing, we'll be covering a lot of calculations. And all of those calculations will be accessible as part of your exam. So if you do miss classes, I know from experience, it actually makes passing the subject much more harder because you've missed a foundational aspect that that you basically were not able to go and get. So my advice to you is to ensure that you come every single week, you attend regularly, you don't miss classes, and you engage into all of these calculation exercises and activities that I'm going to go be giving you throughout the course. I've done it like this to make sure you guys will be engaged, and I'm not sure if you know, but it's basically changed from how the course has been delivered in previous sessions. So it's just about how do I go and deliver that interactiveness and good knowledge that will help you to go and get a career in the information technology field. Now, I sent you a welcome message. You probably, I hope, would have read it by now and seen the information that I've included there. And it's really about how do you kind of go and build a career in information technology, which is going to go and make sure it will make you so successful and make you able to go and really generate a lot of income to help you to go and get a good future in that field. So this is really what I hope for you and what I hope you are going to be able to go and achieve in the long term. Now, if you want to contact me, this is the email address you contact me, fadi.kutub@koi.edu.au. I ask you to go and remind me about the course you are studying, and I ask you to provide me your contact phone number. The reason why is because I do teach many, many subjects, and I don't want to go and miss on the important message that came from you. I want to be able to go and ensure I give you the help that you need. But to be able to go and do so, I need to know who I'm speaking to, which subject I'm speaking to. And a lot of time those queries are confidential, and that's why I can only address them and answer them if basically I have an email coming from the KOI email address. And the reason why I say this is because sometimes you might have a family member trying to make contact, trying to go and make sure they're going to try to find some personal information about you. I might not know who I'm speaking to, and I might go and actually disclose information that is particularly confidential and relevant only to you, and you get very upset with me for sharing that information. And that's why I have that rule where if there's anything to do with confidential queries, I will never respond to it if it's not actually coming through the KOI email, because through the KOI email, as a minimum, I'll be able to go and verify that I'm actually speaking to the right person, and I'm able to go and give you the confidential information to the right person. If you ever want to see me face to face, I would say we have to do this by appointment. The reason why I say this is because, it's very obvious the situation in Sydney is at the moment not ideal. And, people, we're talking about COVID, and we're talking about, things going in the community. All of these things are issues that really sometimes would prevent us from actually going and meeting face to face, but it's really something to bear in mind that I am happy to see you face to face. We obviously need to kind of conduct the precautions in terms of our meeting, but if you guys need to meet face to face, we'll be very, very happy to meet you. All what you need to do is just make contact, and then we'll try to organize when we can meet once the KOI campus goes and actually goes to reopen. So it's very important to maintain those details so that you can actually make contact with me whenever you need any assistance. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've been actually teaching in the field for about a long time, for about now 2008. Wow, I've been in the industry for 13 years now. But I haven't only been in the industry of the teaching industry, I also been in the information technology industry. So I did work in the field of information technology. I did work in many service support and project delivery roles. So it's very rare to actually find people who have the skills and knowledge that they go and actually got from practice as well as from the theory, and they basically come and combine them together to come and deliver the knowledge that you guys would go and benefit from. So when I came and joined that field, I just found really a good passion to really care about students. That care and that passion enabled me to go and be very well recognized in terms of the quality of the teaching that I go and deliver. And that teaching and that focus enabled me to go and win many teaching awards from leading universities. For example, University of Wollongong, I won the Outstanding Contribution to Teaching and Learning Award from the faculty, as well as from the Sydney Business School Award for teaching, as well as I got so many good recognitions for outstanding contribution to teaching and learning from University of Wollongong. I also been in KOI and in other colleges and in UTS and in Wollongong Uni, and throughout all of these times I managed to go and really be able to go and achieve very good positive teaching evaluation results. What I say about what I try to do is that students do feel that I really genuinely go and care about them. They see that I want to go and help them. They see that I want to go and have help them to go and have a very good future. And that's really what I try to do day in, day out. I just simply care. And what I say to you guys is I'm someone who's really committed to teach you, in an excellent manner. And the way that I see myself being able to go and contribute positively to your life is by playing so many various roles. And how do I deliver my excellence in teaching? Well, I play the role of facilitator, where I want to make sure that you don't simply go and learn the theory about project management, but I want you to go and learn how that theory actually go and relate to what happened in practice. So I need you to go and learn the theoretical skills and the practical skills that are relating to project management. And that's the first thing that I do to deliver the excellence in teaching that I go and do. A second thing is I play the role of a motivator. A lot of time I see students not really trusting in their ability to go and get things to be achieved. Now, guys, I'm going to go and make a very, very quick poll. I'm going to actually just add it now. I'm going to make a very small poll for you. Let me just write it, add the question. Okay. Okay, that's a question. Just gonna do it now for you. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. All right, save it and go and play this ball for you now. So polling. All right, guys, I'm going to launch this ball for you, and I want you to go and actually get involved with it. So I'm going to launch it now for you. So if you can start putting your responses there, that'll be very highly appreciated. So there's one poll. All right, I can see one response. All right, I can see two responses. There's two more to go and provide their responses. All right, I have 4 responses. All right, I'm going to end the poll and share the results. Can you guys see the results? Can you guys see them?
Yes.
All right, who says I was born in Australia?
Me?
Okay, what's your name?
Neeraj.
Neeraj. Thank you very much, Neeraj. What make you think I'm born in Australia?
Because of the accent.
Okay, great, no problem. And now everybody else said I was born overseas. Why do you say that? Come on, let's hear.
Because actually I was born in overseas.
You were born overseas, so you thought
Yeah.
I'm born overseas too?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Anybody else? How do you make that judgment? Anyone else? Don't be scared. We're friends here. We're just having a bit of fun. Anyone else want to add anything?
I think
Alan?
they got the question wrong. That's why. I think
Okay.
they were.
They basically they might have got it wrong. Look, what I'm going to say for you is I'm going to actually stop sharing now. I've actually put this this particular poll because I want you to know that I was someone who is just exactly like you. I actually came to Australia in 2001. I came as an international student. I came to study information technology. I came and I finished my degree, and then I came based on the information technology field. I went and I applied to go and get a permanent visa, and I got my permanent, and I've been in Australia since 2001. So the reason why I'm wanting to go and share that with you, because I want you to know that I believe in you, and I know what you guys will feel through. I know what you guys will go through. Life won't be as simple. Life is very difficult, which, as you probably know. But what I want you to know is you need to believe in your ability to go and achieve. You need to be able to go and believe that there is a journey that is available out there that will enable you to go and get a good future. I know that's a possibility. That's why I did it. That's why I went, and that's why I know in terms of the information technology field, I applied, I got a visa, I stayed in this country, and I know that in terms of the demand for Australian people, for actually people from overseas with the Australian qualification in information technology, there's a lot of demand in Australia for people in that field. There are so many good jobs that actually pays a lot of good money. So what I want you to know is there is a great avenue for you guys to be able to have a great future in Australia. I want you to believe in that. And whenever I go and see that you guys are not trusting in your own ability to be able to ensure I'm delivering my excellence in teaching, I will always go and be motivating you, because I want you to go and trust in your own ability to go and ensure you are going to go and achieve great great outcomes in his life. I want to be a carer. Carer means that if you need my support while you are my student in the course, I will definitely go and be there for you because I care about you and I will do my best to go and help you. But I also be a supporter. I will go beyond and help you in your needs after completing the course. So many students come and ask me for, I don't know, can I help him to get a job, or ask me, can you go and help me fix my CV, or can you give me my reference to go and apply for a PhD or to do more research or whatever it is. And my job, the way that I see it, is I go and support you when you are no longer my student because I care about you and I want you to be able to go and really achieve a great future. So it's very, very important that you guys know how I'm committed personally to go and helping you guys to have a great future. I'm committed to working and delivering excellence to go and supporting me. So please continue working with me, coming every week, doing the right thing to help me help you get the right outcome. I'm going to go very quickly to the subject outline and how do you actually go and survive your scores. So I'm going to go very quickly to Safari. Go here and let's go here. It's on the other page. Just bring it to the first page. Share. Right, so I'm going to go and show you. This is your website. This is your usual site. If I go to the subject, which is that's your subject, go and switch role, be a student. So you guys will be able to see this on your main site. You'll be able to see the subject outline. You'll be able to see how you need to go and actually log in on the system. And so far, you'll be able to go and see lecture 1, tutorial 1, and some videos, and lecture tutorial 2 and other videos. And I'll be loading more as basically time goes along. I'm not going to load everything now, but I'll be loading them week after week. But the most important thing we're going to go through here is the subject outline. So I'm going to open that outline here for you to try to give you an overview about the work that needs to go and be completed to be able to go and pass the subject. Now, I mentioned earlier some assignments. What did I mention? What assessment did I mention earlier? Do you remember? Mohammed, do you remember any of them? Kushal, do you remember any of them? All right, that's fine. Guys, I'm going to start here with my details. You can see my details, my name, you know, how you can contact me, email, and so on. You really need to be spending a lot of time studying every week. You obviously will have 3 hours with me in the classroom, but we expect you to be doing another 7 hours in home to be able to go and ensure you are getting the best learning and result from the subjects. It's very important that you guys are regularly engaging with all of that studies that is actually needed. If we go down, there are so many graduate qualities we want you to go and actually gain. We're going to go and actually help you to go and get knowledge, critical thinking. We want you to be able to engage with so many various communication with various people, research and information literacy. We want to give you problems and we want you to go and be able to creatively go and solve those problems. We want you to ensure that you think about how should you be acting in an ethical manner. We want you to be sensitive to other people from other cultures because in IT, it's all about working with so many various people. It's about understanding that we are different and finding ways to go and work with everybody. It's about, leadership and strategy are very important topics we're going to go and teach you. And then professional skills. How can you be professional? Professional in terms of being able to make decisions, good judgments, being accountable. If you make a mistake, say, I've made a mistake. simply be able to go and look at things and look about how you are performing, and basically learn the knowledge and learn the skills and attributes that are needed to be able to be successful when you're going to go out there and start working in the market. This is specifically what I'm going to be teaching you for the learning outcomes, which is a specific learning outcomes that you'll be gaining by completing the subject. Now, these are very, very important. And the reason why they're very important is because every assessment that I go and set for you will be based on ensuring you are going to be demonstrating those learning outcomes. So you notice, for example, in the final exam, I need to be making sure you are meeting many learning outcomes. What are they? Well, if I take you a bit down, you'll be able to go and see that you need to be demonstrating learning outcome A, B, C, and D, which mean when I go to the final exam and then set up the exam paper for you, I have to make sure that you were able to go and demonstrate the learning, and particularly this learning, as part of the work and as part of the exams that I go and actually set for you. So it's very important that you guys go and understand what the learning outcomes is, because I need to make sure I'm going to go and test you about them. So you need to know about the project requirement, project phases, project techniques, processes. You need to apply IT project management concept, methodologies, techniques, and tools to be able to manage all of these projects. You need to compare and contrast various project management methodologies, and you'll be using one methodology for, two methodologies for one assignment, which is a group assignment, and that group assignment takes so many weeks to go and develop. And that's why I always tell my students, make sure you start working on that assignment from early on, maximum from week 2, start working on that assignment. Because if you split it into chunks and you start working on it week after week, after I teach you some particular aspects, you will be able to go and do really well as part of the assignment. If you, however, go and leave it to the last minute to start working on it, this is where we start having issues, especially in terms of the mark that you guys manage to go and achieve. So every week we're going to go and cover various chapters. You will notice, for example, we start talking calculations. I think we start doing calculations from here. We do calculations, we do more calculations, we do more calculations. And all of these calculations become accessible in your quiz. Okay, there's some calculations in your quiz. Potentially, I might ask you about them. There are definitely a lot of calculations in your, in your actual midterm exam. And the midterm exam is one that I know from experience, people don't tend to do very well in it, because especially early on, students may not be focusing on the actual exercises. They might not coming to the class on time. So what happened is, I think the average over 20 on midterm exams is usually between 11 and 12, because students tend not to basically be able to go and show me that they know how to do all of those calculations. So to be able to really increase that much more better in the midterm exam, you need to start working from week 1, and every week you come and learn what I teach you, and go and read it and study those 7 hours that we expect you to go and study to be able to build the knowledge that you are going to be needing. So make sure you do that. Make sure you don't leave anything for chance, to ensure we are able to go and really get the outcomes that you guys are eligible for. You go and see here, we have assessment 2, as I said, and then we have the, the exam paper. Like, I don't recommend anybody to be deferring their midterm exam, because if you defer it, you basically will be making your ability to go and pass that assignment even harder, because the deferred exam is in week 9. That's 3 weeks later. You would have, maybe missed something. Maybe there's some more learning that you need to go and actually know about now. It will make your preparation much more harder. Group assignment is due in week 10. But as I said, it's a very, very long assignment, big assignment. So that's why it's very important. You start working on it every week. You start applying the things that I teach you to be able to go and really get the outcomes, the right outcomes from the beginning. So don't leave it till the last minute to start working. I really encourage you to go and make sure you start working from the beginning. Week 12, I usually leave it as a week for the revision. So I help you to go and really revise and really prepare for the exam. I usually give you some exam papers and I tell you, let's go, let's start to solve them. And I get you exactly the same sort of timelines that you'll be expected to go and answer something as part of your exam. And I'll be basically observing to see how you are really performing in terms of that exam that you need to go and do. So I encourage you to make sure you all come to your revision, not simply say, oh yeah, we've done everything, I don't need to go and revise, because you definitely need to go and revise, and it's very, very helpful. Now, this subject could be so difficult or could be so easy, okay? The way that it's so difficult is if you don't come, you don't engage, you don't come every week, engage in my activities that I give you in the classroom. You don't basically act as a postgraduate student. You come on time, you engage in all the activities I give you. You basically start hiding and not doing the activities, not doing stuff that I tell you. And if you do so, then you're going to make your life so hard. And I've seen many students fail because exactly they've done that. On the other hand, this subject could very well have no student failing at all. In fact, last semester I had around, I think, 60 students or so, and we didn't have anyone failing. So how, actually, sorry, we didn't have 60, we had around 30, I think, last semester, and the one before we've had 60, but no one failed last semester. Now, there is a potential for people to fail, and there's a potential for people not to fail. A few people I actually, I gave them a bit of a push to help them to go and pass the subject. They were basically on the borderline. But these people who were on the borderline are people who did not engage in the course, didn't do what they expected to go and do. So my advice to you is you engage with me every week. You come on time, you do what I tell you, you do the right thing, and that is going to go and enable you to go and really achieve the right outcomes you would like to go and actually achieve. Now, you probably want to have a read about, some rules. If you wish to apply for a deferred exam, you are unable to attend the scheduled exam, you should submit an assessment extension or deferment form available by clicking on link as soon as possible, but no later than 3 working days of the assessment due date. So that's one thing to go, for example, bear in mind. You need to bear in mind that there's probably some changes here. It's all mixed now together. But if you go to the assessment, there's a quiz, week 4, which is going to be testing what you've learned in weeks 1, 2, and 3. And week 3 will be having some calculations. So it's very important that you guys, making sure that you're coming to the classes and you're learning those calculations and you're learning that theory. It's a very small percentage intentionally, because I want to make sure I give you a bit of a handle about what to actually expect into various assessments that we basically will go and have. Then we have the midterm exam. As I said, the average is, something between 11 and 12 over 20. Because students tend not to actually come and engage in the calculations from the beginning. So I encourage you to not be students who are going to go and be subjected to the same, but rather kind of work hard and from the beginning, let's just try to go and solve all of those issues and learn all of these skills and be able to go and apply them. The assessment 3, the group project, 3,500 words plus or minus 10%. It is a big one, but if you do well here, if you start your assignment early here, you will be able to go and really achieve. I don't think there's any reason why you can't achieve an assignment result of a minimum 26. But that really requires that you have basically showed me that you're working hard and you've learned to go and apply all of these various learning that I will teach you week after week. And obviously there's a final exam, whether it's face-to-face or online, something to be discussed down the track. We'll be able to go and learn about that a bit later. These are your textbooks. You can also access them off the Moodle site. So if I go and go back to the Moodle site, you'll be able to go and see the textbooks. You'll be able to click on the textbooks. You'll be able to go and log in, and you'll be able to go and find the particular chapter that you would like to go and really learn. So the information is here available for you. All what you need to do is just basically go say, all right, I want to go and read, I don't know, I want to read chapter 1. All right, great. So let's go to chapter 1. And yeah, you just go and read whatever you would like to go and learn. It's basically aligning with what I'm teaching you. So you can actually go and see more information, more calculation, more stories, which will be very, very well when it comes to go and using that information as part of your exams. Going back to the outline, you'll be able to go and see readings that we basically go and recommend. That's your Agile textbook we'll be using for the session. And obviously there's a lot of details. So I encourage you to read information about your assignment, midterm exam. Obviously it's going to cover everything between week 1 and week 5. And it's basically consists of questions and problems relating to the subject content covered between weeks 1 and week 5. And this is a big one. It's all the details is available. You basically have a project, and that project is for you to be able to go and deliver an outcome. So you need to appoint a team to implement a content management system, website that is reusable, later by other sporting organizations. There are so many various modules that are needed for that particular project. It's about reading all of that information, understanding what we're trying to go and do. There's all the outcomes have been explained to you, what basically is asking, and there are 4 questions you need to go and answer. First one is relating to the project management body of knowledge phases that we'll be explaining in the early part of the subject. And it's about really creating for me a charter, a plan, a budget, a schedule, a risk assessment. We want you to make sure if you're going to create a plan, you create it using Microsoft Project to show me that you try to go and learn the skills that are basically potentially needed in the information technology field. So you need to go and conduct some of your own learning about how do I go and really use the information technology system. So we'll talk about that from that perspective. From another perspective, you need to go and have the other aspects. So you need to go and show me that you can actually apply the Agile project management perspective. When I talk about the Agile project management, that's different to the project management, which is Pinbook. This is where I start teaching you about this probably from week 6, 7, 8, 9 or so. And then you'll need to go and be ensuring you are applying that as part of your, it's task 2 of your assignment. So it's very important. That's why I always say not to keep it to the last minute, because when I teach you early in the subject, I teach you about these, you need to apply them then. When I go to the later stages, I teach you about these and you need to go and apply them then. So don't leave things to the last minute. Start working on it from the beginning to be able to ensure that you are able to get the right outcome. The third one is about comparing 2 Pinbook and 2 Agile project management features, and discuss how they basically affect running of IT projects. So this is really like a lot of literature, a lot of research, and a lot of your learning from what you've done from task 1, task 2. And finally, this is a very important question in ethics. So discuss the importance of ethics in managing information technology projects. Now, I want to relate to something I covered for you guys early so that you can understand. You notice up here, one of my learning outcome for your subject, look here, identify and employ ethical practices of project management. So we need to go and see in your final exam that you guys could go and answer questions and show me you understand things relating to ethics in project management. So what you'll notice is when you go and look at your assignment, you see it's asking you directly a question about ethics. Something like this might be something that might be relevant for your final exam. Some very good learning to ensure you are going to go and show me you can apply your learning about ethics in real life, and you can actually show me that information. There's so many information here about the structure, the cover page. I need an executive summary, table of content. I need to be introducing of the business case that we've assigned you, which is this business case here. And we're going to need to go and see that you've answered task 1, task 2, task 3, and task 4. You've done a conclusion, and you've done your specific references. And finally, you need to go and make sure you have a presentation, which is usually conducted between weeks 10 and weeks 11. I need to make sure that you guys are doing that presentation accordingly. Yeah, and then we'll go from there. Any questions so far, guys? Do me a favor, could you just try there's a thumbs up button. So try to make the thumbs up button from your end. Just give it a go. Yep. 1, 2, yep. Nabin, please, if you can just fix your name. Kusal. Kusal Kalyan. Yep. Kalyan. And Muhammad, you give me a thumbs up, give it a go. Kalyan, can you hear me? Kalyan? Muhammad, can you hear me? Okay, maybe they ducked out to do something, but well, let's continue, guys. Guys, this is the marking guide. It's very clear, the format, the structure, the introduction of the business case. It's very important you read that. The biggest marks on tasks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Obviously, task 1 and 2 are very big ones. So make sure you kind of look off all of these things. And there's 7 marks relating to your presentation. So read that because it's a very, very important assignment to be able to go and ensure you get the right outcomes. All right, and then there's obviously the final exam we spoke about. One thing I need you to bear in mind here, there is a late penalty of 5% of the total available mark per calendar day, unless there's an exception. There's an extension that is approved for you guys, so please make sure that you do, you do submit your work on time, and if unable to go and submit things on time, make sure there's special consideration and make sure you have a very, very good reason to be able to go and get an extension to go and really be approved. Now, I'm going to go back to here. So that's a subject outline you need to know about. Guys, one very important things to avoid is plagiarism. You cannot copy anybody else's work. That's something where me and anybody at KY would be very, very strict at. If I see plagiarism, if I see copying and pasting, if I see using someone else's ideas without acknowledging them, I've actually seen people get 0 over their assignment. But there's no need for this to be done because we do give you guys all the knowledge that you guys need to be able to do the good job. So if you follow me every week and you listen to what I teach you, there's no reason why you will have any of that problem. So make sure you do not plagiarize. Make sure that if if you have any questions about what is plagiarism, what is not plagiarism, I recommend you go and speak to the library. You'll be able to go and get any guidance you need about what constitutes plagiarism and what doesn't constitute plagiarism. How do you paraphrase, what's quoting, what's indirect quoting, All of these things are things for us to go and really bear in mind. Now, Turnitin guys, your group assessment must be submitted to Turnitin using the Moodle site. If I go and take you back to the Moodle site, you'll basically go and find that there will be, you know, if I go back to my normal, you basically would go and find that there's a Turnitin link that basically gets added. I'll basically be adding that Turnitin link somewhere here, but you notice that there's a Turnitin link that basically gets added, and that will be basically you know, where you will need to go and make sure you are submitting your work for your assignment. Now, please aim to be on time. I noticed that some people today were a bit late. First time, that's fine, but please try to aim to go and be on time. Please minimize any of your disruptions in the classroom. Please attend your lectures and tutorials, or actually the classes now, because they merge into one. It's very, very highly recommended. But also, please make sure you are engaging in the activities that I'm going to go and give you, because if you don't engage in those activities, you won't be able to really get the best outcomes that you would like to go and get. So please make sure you are engaging in those activities that I'm going to go and give you, and ask any questions if you have any. I recommend you, if you can, I recommend you print the lecture slides. I recommend, and there's going to be tutorial materials, you print them. I recommend when I'm explaining things for you, you are going to be taking a lot of explanation, a lot of the notes. And what that was going to go and actually happen is we will be able to go and develop, you know, some notes, which will assist us in really helping you to go and complete your assignment. Now I'm going to start talking about the first chapter. So ladies and gentlemen, the first chapter I'm going to be talking about is really about modern project management. And this is really summarized by something very simple. It's basically here, how long have I been doing things that don't actually matter? A lot of time we are actually working and doing things in the organization, and we are doing things that don't really matter. Can any of you guys tell me, if we are doing things in the organization that don't matter, that don't actually matter, what does that actually mean? What are we doing for the organization if we are doing and spending our time on things that do not matter? What will happen if I'm spending my time on things that do not matter? What do you think?
It's not a good practice.
It's not a good practice. So if I'm spending my time on something that doesn't matter, is the business going to be able to achieve the goals they would like to achieve?
No, not in time.
Not in time. Are they going to be able to be competitive in the long term? What do you think? Can they compete in the long term?
No, it's difficult.
No. Yeah,
No.
it's difficult. Yeah.
It is difficult. Correct. Like, what I want you to know is, in any organization, we have very limited resources. We have limited time, limited money, you know, limited resources, limited equipment. All of these things are limited. And because they are limited, I have a job to go and ensure that when I'm going to go and be using whatever resources I have handy, I am going to be able to go and use them into the most appropriate manner to be able to go and really reach our goals. So it's very important that we really spend the resources on things that do matter. Now, what I'm going to be covering in the course are so many chapters. We're going to start with the introduction, then we're going to link it to the strategy on, you know, how it's very important to link the things we go and do and work on to our strategy in the organization. We're going to talk about how do we organize various projects, various structures, various things. We're going to talk about defining projects, estimating projects, creating networks, so many various things. And when we start talking about, defining, estimating, networks, resourcing, all of these is what we call about the technical side of project management. And it's very important you have a very, very good knowledge of the technical side of project management, because if you can't do the technical side, you will basically be missing a lot of good knowledge that you need to really go and actually know. And we're going to go and talk about agile project management, which is again something that is really, really important. So let's continue here. What are we going to be doing in this first chapter? We're going to go and make sure you understand why project management is crucial in today's world where we operate today. We're going to go and distinguish a project from a normal routine operation. We're going to go and identify different stages in the project life cycle, because to deliver the project there's a start stage and there's an end stage. So it's about really knowing all of the stages and working through them to be able to get the right outcome. We need to describe how agile project management is different from the traditional way we go and deliver things in terms of traditional project management. We are going to need to go and understand that managing project is really involves understanding a lot of things, and these things are about balancing what we call a technical side of project management and a sociocultural side of project management. I can tell you, for example, today I was in one of the other places I teach. I created a final exam paper, actually deferred exam paper. And in that exam paper, I asked specifically about the technical and sociocultural project management dimensions, because they're very important. It's about really ensuring we do know both of these aspects to be able to go and really get the right outcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue and start explaining what is a project and I give you really the first activity you need to be engaging in as a group, I'm going to go and give you a bit of a break. At the moment, I'll give you a 10 minutes break. I usually give you 10 minutes at 4, 10 minutes at 5. And in between, we'll be basically giving you activities. So what I'll be doing now is I'm going to give you your first break, which is a 10 minutes break. It is 4:01 now. Please come back in 10 minutes and let's continue with the remaining things and explaining things in terms of what is a project, and then I'll give you the activity that is relevant very shortly. So please enjoy your break and then we'll go from there. Thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go and start talking about a project. Now, what is a project? A project is something that is not very simple. A project is something that is complex. A project is not something that you do every day. A project is really a one-time effort, okay? And that one-time effort needs to be delivered within a constraints. And these constraints are, they need to be delivered within time, within cost, within the resources limitation that we have, within the performance scope requirements that we have. And that specifically is focused on how do I go and meet the needs of the customer. In other words, I have a customer, they come to me and they say, I have this very unique thing that I would like to go and ensure it is going to be delivered. They come to me and say, I want it to be done. I'm going to give you that much money. I want it to be done by this time. They give you all of this very clear specifications. So a project is not something that keeps on happening over and over and over again. A project is something that is really temporary endeavor to be able to create something unique. And that something could be a product, could be a service, could be a result. Such as, for example, I want to go and build a bridge. Could you beautiful people tell me some examples of what a project is? Give me an example of a project.
Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Building the Sydney Harbour Bridge. What about maintaining Sydney Harbour Bridge? Is maintaining it a project or is building it a project?
Building is the primary project.
Building is a project. Why is maintaining it not a project?
It's a part of maintenance after project.
It's part of a normal operation, maintaining something over and over again. So you told me Sydney Opera House is a project. Could you please tell me why you said that? So let's look here. Okay, why did you believe that Sydney Opera House is a project?
It needs to be built from the scratch.
It needs to be built from scratch. It's not there. Okay, did they have all the money in the world?
No,
So they had a budget. Did they have all the time in the world?
they have time limits and
Have time
resources,
limits,
limited resources also.
resource limitation, budget limitation, a requirement limitation. They want something specific to go and be delivered, and that's definitely a project. Now, could anybody else now give me an example of a project? But this time, I want to know about an IT project. Give me an example of an IT project.
Building any mobile application.
Building a mobile application. Okay, why is that a project?
So it could be a project because it will take time, it will take person, it will take money to make it.
Why do we make it?
For fulfilling our needs, specific needs.
Okay, so you go to the needs and you have a customer and you're trying to fulfill the needs of the customer. We go back to the same thing. Guys, major characteristics of a project. They have an established objective. What's a goal? They need to be a goal. They have a defined lifespan, which is a start and an end time. They have need to have cross-organizational participation. Let me ask you a question. If we want to go and develop an application for the bank, let's say the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, do we only involve people in IT or do we involve people other than IT people? What do you think?
To know the needs, we need to go beyond an IT and to just building the project. I think we should be able to get some IT person.
Okay, so you basically see that we have a cross-organizational participation. We don't simply have people in IT to do the job. We have many people working together to be able to ensure that the job goes and gets delivered. Does that make sense? Is that clear? You can give me the thumbs up if you want.
Can you please repeat?
I'm saying, so it basically shows that there's a cross-organizational participation. It's not simply one group. It's about so many other people need to be working together. We need people in the IT department. We need people outside the IT department, which together will help you to go and get the project delivered. People outside IT would probably be my customer, will probably tell me what do we need to go and have as part of that application. People in IT will probably be collaborating with people in outside IT to be able to go and ensure we are delivering exactly what the client is basically expecting from us. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. So we need to go and be doing something that is never done before, has a specific time, specific cost, and specific requirements in terms of the performance we need to go and deliver. Now, I'm going to give you an activity. Okay, I'm going to put you into two groups and I want to make sure, actually, you know what? I'm going to put you in one big group. I'm going to leave you here in this big group and I want you to go and have a discussion. I'm going to give you 10 minutes discussion. I'm not going to basically be involved in that. You'll have 10 minutes to really discuss it with each other. I want you to identify in this group that you guys are part in, the greatest achievements accomplished by mankind in the last 5 decades. You can choose any of them on. I'm not going to go and say this or that. I will let you guys make that choice. And then when you are basically make the decision and decide what is that biggest accomplishment by mankind, then I want you to go and review. It could be more than one. I want you to go and review them in terms of the definition of the project. Okay, so I want you to go and compare them to this slide. You give me any project you find that you believe is the biggest, achievements in mankind, and go and compare them. Find me, are they similar to what is being defined as what is a project? And then from there, I want you to go and try to answer what does this review really suggest about why project management is important. So this is really relating directly to what I've covered already so far for you as part of the project. I expect everybody to be engaged with that, not some people, everybody to be engaged, and I'll be here listening to all of your engagement with each other. It'll be a good opportunity for you guys to go live with the camera now, because any recording will be off. And this way you'll be able to go and talk to each other in person, because I'm going to be assigning you to working with groups for your group assignment today. So that would be also an opportunity to know each other and decide which groups you want to go and actually be working with. So the first activity is now. Your time starts now. Thank you very much for all your hard work. I really appreciate your efforts. All right, guys, your time is up. So I'm going to start asking you guys questions. So I'm going to basically go and start recording the answers you give me. I'm going to start by Kushal. Kushal?
Yes.
What do you think, my friend? What do you think is the biggest achievement, buddy?
I think communication field, the people find a Wi-Fi satellite service like that.
So Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay, so Wi-Fi is the best in the world. Okay, no worries. Who else? Muhammad?
I think in the biggest achievement, medical and medicine always comes first, because if we will alive, then we will communicate with each other. So,
All right, so what do you think?
As there is a vaccine for coronavirus,
All
so
right.
I think this should be the biggest achievement for now, because everyone was dying because of that. So
All right.
vaccine should be the biggest achievement for my.
No worries. We always respect your answer. So let's go to the Niraj. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, in last 50 years, I think the internet,
Internet.
developed by ARPANET is one of the greatest project.
All right, no worries. Who I haven't asked? Syra. Syra? All right, we'll go back to Syra. Shristi?
5G deployment in Australia.
5G deployment.
Yep.
I'm gonna say over, worldwide, because Australia will probably be only very limited.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say 5G deployment. Okay.
Yep.
Tasmia, what do you think?
I think like computer evolution and specifically information technology.
Okay, so can you give me any specific one you could think about?
I guess like information technology for with information technology we can do anything, like we can communicate each other by video call.
Okay, so
and
communication
like
improvement.
Yeah.
Okay, so communication improvement. It's very interesting you said that, because I remember when I actually when I came to Australia, I used to speak to people. And I remember I used to go and work for the whole week. And then when I come back, I used to go and spend $10 to be able to go and speak with my family. And that used to give me 7 minutes of talking with my family. Comparing to now, we can just kind of make a phone call and video and all of these things. So it's a very, very good improvement comparing to what happened around the world. I agree with that. I haven't asked Kalyan.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No worries. Kalyan? I'll get a response from Kalyan. Okay, who else haven't I asked? Sairam. Sairam? Okay. All right. So guys, let's go, and I want you to go into that discussion. So we did record a number of them. Do you guys agree that you know, which one do you guys agree? Which one do you think is the biggest achievement? Why don't I just do a very quick poll for you guys to see what you guys agree with? Just give me 1 second. I'm going to create a poll for you. So guys, this is the poll that I would like to go and launch for you now, to be able to go and see, based on your responses, which one you believe is really the best accomplishment that is available in mankind. So let me launch it for you. I'm going to give you some time, and let's go and see your responses. Let's go. All right, so we have waiting for your responses now. Right. So let's go and see if people basically, you know, believe something is better or more important. Okay, I'm waiting for a couple of more responses. All right, I'm waiting for 2 more responses, guys. The last 2 people here. I think we're having 2 people who might not be really live with us in the classroom. Give just an extra 10 seconds. All right, I can have 9 more, and waiting for 1 more person. All right, I'm going to end the poll. All right, guys, so let's go and see the result, guys. If I'm going to go and share the results, you'll be able to go and see. 33% believe that COVID is basically one of the biggest achievements, and 33% believe that 5G is one of the biggest achievements. There's also obviously options relating to the internet and the Wi-Fi. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go and look at, let's go and look at the COVID vaccine, and let's go and actually look at the 5G deployments. Now, I showed you in the previous slides, I showed you a definition of a project. Could you guys please go and relate how does a COVID vaccine relate to the definition of the project we covered in the previous slide? And how does a 5G deployment relates to the project definition we've actually covered in the previous slide? So I'm gonna, you know, I want to wait for your answers now. What do you think? Just take a minute, think about it, and tell me what you think.
For 5G deployment,
Yeah.
we need a project for like converting from 4G to 5G. So
Okay.
we need a customer, we need a client,
Okay. So who's the
and
customer?
yeah. So
Who is the customer?
the Optus, Telstra, Vodafone,
Okay,
the
that's a
person
big
who,
customer. What about
yes,
the smaller customer?
smaller one.
That's me and you.
Yes, us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the small customer, which is me and you, that have a need. Because we have a need, we have the big customer being Telstra, and all of these big companies want to go and ensure they are delivering that needs to us. So that's basically small customer and big customer. And what else? Okay, so we have a need, it's being delivered. What else how can you compare it to a project?
Then also we need a land or things to put the tower
So we need
and
resources.
resources. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we need people, we need the resources, we need the
Budget.
locations, we
Yeah.
need a budget, we need money, 100%. Okay. Do we have all the time in the world, or do we have a specific timeline?
No, we have a specific timeline. Yeah, for this, so that we can work on it, and
Otherwise, we don't get what we want.
yep.
All right. Very, very well done. Thank you very much. Anybody else can actually contribute to either the 5G or any other topic? Maybe COVID vaccine?
So both are is a need of time. Especially vaccines is everyone knows in the I think in my experience, like I'm 25 years and I have seen first time this kind of pandemic. So it was a need of time to build something to overcome this issue.
So it needs
And
to be
that was a
delivered within a quick time. Yeah.
yeah.
All
So
right. What else?
if we compare it to 5G, we were already having the 4G network, and human always want to do something fast and fast. They want to save their time. So it is a time of need to save time, and we will go for the 6G and etc. But as compared to vaccine to 5G, always vaccine should come first, because
Okay. So
without 5G we are still living, and where 5G is not deployed anywhere for now, and still everything is so good
yeah. Look.
as it come to speed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily disagree with you, but there's obviously different people have different perspective.
Yeah, yeah,
Eh,
no, no, I'm just
so,
giving my perspective. Yeah,
so your
I can
perspective,
understand.
I
Yeah, I
totally agree.
respect it. I respect their opinions. Yeah.
Fair enough. But so it is like a project, isn't it? It has a start time, it have an end time, it have a budget. Like for example, in Australia, Queensland University was given a particular budget to be able to go and create a vaccine here in Australia. Okay, they couldn't create it within the budget, so the project has ceased, and that project was not successful. So sometimes you go and employ it, it's successful, sometimes it's not successful. Now, what does that, what does your review suggest about how important project management is? What do you think? How do you know how important is project management? What do you think?
Management is always really important. If
Yeah,
you do not manage something, then obviously you are not going to make it or fulfill your requirements. So managing is always important to me.
absolutely.
Managing the time, managing your money and your human resources and the other resources, it is always important.
100%. Anybody else want to add to that? Anyone else have anything to add?
Management should be progressive and continuous.
Continuous, actually progressive. Definitely in project management, like you have a phase, you have a first week, second week, third week, we have a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We basically progressively build on what we're trying to deliver. We deliver a part, we continue delivering, we continue making the improvements until we go and reach a final goal. So it's about really going and working. Guys, I don't joke with you when I tell you can make so much money in project management. I've seen it. People make so much money, and I really want you to be great. I really want you to be able to go and finish, hopefully get a visa, stay in Australia, and be able to get a great future in information technology. So it's about really continuing to working on that to be able to reach the right goals. Now, some comparison, guys, something like taking a class note is something routine. But something where I give you one unique exam paper that hasn't been given to anybody else before, that's something that is a project. Entering receipts on the accounting ledger, that's repetitive. You're repeating the same thing over and over again. But creating a whole system to be able to go and start having automated accounting, that is what we call a project. Responding to a supply chain request that came over the internet, that is not a project, that's a routine. Every day a customer goes and make a request and say, let me get something done. But developing a whole supply chain information system, that is a project, something unique, something that have a need, something that have limited timelines, scope, and so on to get the job to go and be delivered. Now, I want to try to give you an example of a program. Now, a lot of time in IT, we have what we call projects and we have what we call a program. Let's say, for example, we would like to go and create 10 buildings in one big complex. Every one of these buildings is considered a project. But this finishing one building doesn't mean I finish my overall long-term goal and got the job done. To be able to get my long-term objective and to be able to open all of this and get people to move into, let's say, those buildings, I need to finish all 10 buildings. They all must be ready. They all must be delivered to the client to be able to go and ensure that it's done. It's like you guys, you have a degree. How many subjects are in your degree, my friends? How many subjects must you do? Are they 24? Are they 12? How many subjects?
16.
16. All right. Is every subject unique?
Almost, sir.
Okay, so you don't have the subject 1 and subject 2 are the same. They're different, yeah? Correct?
Sorry.
So subject 1 and subject 2, they're not the same. They're different.
Yeah, they are different. Sir.
So if you have subject 1, that's a project. Subject 2, that's a project. Subject 3, that's a project. If you finish subject 1, 2, and 3, did you finish your degree? If you finish the first 3 subjects, did you finish your degree?
No, we haven't. Others.
When do you finish your degree?
When you complete all the subjects,
When you
16
complete
subjects.
all 16 subjects. So this is really a good way to go and think about a program. A program is all of these interrelated projects. Okay, you won't achieve your purpose and your goal unless you've actually done all of these projects and you got them completed. Doing one of your subjects, that is a project by itself, that is unique, that have a goal, that have a start time and end time, that have a budget. All of this is correct. But that one subject will give you nothing. That one subject is part of the whole program. To be able to get your right outcome, we have to finish all of these 16 subjects to be able to go and say, all right, I am now finishing my program. So the program is basically the process of managing a group of ongoing, interdependent and related project in a coordinated way for me to get the right outcomes. In IT, I might be having 3 interrelated projects, one relating to the hardware, one related to the software, and one related to the actual networking. You might say, I have the best software in the world. Okay, great. I've done the software, but the software is not really going to work unless I have the hardware. So you have a hardware project that is really related to the software project. You did the software, you did the hardware, but then it's not going to work. And the reason why is because you need the right network for it to be able to go and operate. So these 3, hardware, software, and network, are 3 independent projects. Okay, but each project is also related to the other project, because if you don't finish each of them, you won't finish your program and you won't be able to really get the outcomes that you're supposed to go and really get delivered. And that's really about all of these interlinkages that we're trying to really go and deliver. Does that make sense, my friends? Give me the thumbs up if it's clear. All right. I have Muhammad, Tasmia, Syra, Kalian. All right. All right, guys, so let's continue. Guys, when we talk about projects, we talk about how do we deliver them. And when we talk about delivering them, we have all of the stages. We have a defining stage, planning stage, executing stage, and closing stage. Defining stage happens all the way at the beginning. We need to understand what we're doing. We need to understand why are we actually go and why are we doing it. So when we talk about the beginning, we talk about defining. What are we going to define? I need to define my goal. I need to define my specifications. I need to go and define the tasks that I need to go and do. I need to go and define all of these responsibilities that various people are going to be having to be able to go and get the job done. Then I need to plan. What am I going to need to plan? I'm going to have to go and plan how I'm going to go and get something to go and get delivered. And then what will basically, thank you very much, Kosal, for that. So what we need to do to know what we're going to go and plan, we need to know what is the goal. So the first thing is know the goal, then plan to deliver that goal, then execute that plan and get the changes, monitor quality, get your right forecasting, make reporting. And then once you finish with delivering what we're supposed to go and deliver, we're going to have to go and actually close the project. And when I talk about closing the project, we need to go and finish the job done. So training the customer, give them the documents that are relevant, releasing the resources, evaluating what we've done, checking what we've learned from all the work that we've done. This is all the things we need to go and really bear in mind. So there's defining is usually the beginning, is we basically try to understand what we're doing. There's planning happening throughout the project to be able to go and ensure every time there's something new we need to go and do, we need to plan how we're going to go and deliver it. Executing is basically start from the beginning, because we're going to execute the whole plan from the beginning till the end. And this is where the end we close it and we ensure that we're learning and we're not really repeating any mistakes at any particular point of time. Now, it's very important to bear in mind that project management is very, very important, and it keeps on becoming more and more important. Now, why is it becoming more important? There is what we call the compression of the life cycle. Guys, anybody remembers when they used to produce mobile fan, how long it took them to produce a mobile fan? How long did it used to take to make a mobile fan? Does anybody remember? Less than 12 months, or more than 12 months. Let's talk about a vaccine, okay? Just, yeah, more than 12 months. Let's talk about a vaccine. Everybody talking about the COVID vaccine earlier. Before, the first vaccine they actually created took, I think took like 50 years or something. Like, it took a long, long time for them to be able to go and really create. How long did it take them to go and create a vaccine for COVID? Did it take them 50 years?
No, sir.
It took them much more quicker. Now, why is that the case? Why it took them much more quicker to be able to get a vaccine?
Because of project management.
Because of project management, and because there's a compression, because we've had so much more advancements in terms of the technology that is available, and the life cycle, the production of something is basically started becoming much more quicker. Like if you think about mobile phones, like it used to go, the life cycle of a product used to be like 2 years. So you have a mobile phone, people keep on using it for 2 years in the market, and then maybe towards the end, people start producing another mobile phone and start selling it. Now, you have people wanting a mobile phone very regularly. Every 6 months, they want something new. So there's all of these things that's basically increasing, and people want more products to be basically coming to the market much more quicker. You have a knowledge explosion. Guys, you told me earlier that the internet is one of the best achievements of mankind. What did the internet give you?
All the computers could connect to each other directly.
Okay, so what did that give me? Where are you from? Where are you from, my friend?
Northern Beaches, Sydney.
Yeah, but where are you overseas? Are you from Nepal?
Nepal, yeah.
Okay, anybody not from Nepal here with me today?
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, Mohammed?
Pakistan, sir.
Pakistan. I actually used to teach
Myself as well.
I used to teach the Pakistani army. Very, very good people. They used to come to see me in Wollongong University.
Wow.
Very good people.
And
Listen,
myself as well.
who's that? Sairam?
Yeah.
Welcome. Let me ask you guys, if I want to know about Pakistan, or if I want to go and know about Nepal, how can I get that information very quickly?
Through internet?
Internet, just Google search. There's all of these knowledge explosion. Because there's more knowledge, because there's more data, people always want more and more and more. This is basically making project management really important. Like they talk now about data analytics. Yeah. What does data analytics mean? Do we want to benefit from that data?
Yeah.
If you want to benefit from this data, how do you benefit from it without using projects to be able to create the right system to help you to go and benefit from that data? The knowledge explosion made project management so important. They focus on the triple bottom line, not simply money. Money, people, planet means there's so much more need for the customers and so much more need for more projects for us to be able to get the job to be completed. Corporate downsizing. Guys, about 5 years ago, I was talking to some people who work in Qantas. And have you heard of RFID technology?
Yeah.
Okay, what does RFID technology do for an airliner? Anybody could think what RFID could make for an airline industry? How does it help?
They can know who got inside, or pilots or some staffs got in the airline, or
Correct, but there's one more very, very important thing. You can have tags on the bags which will automatically direct where the bag is going to go. So if you have a bag, for example, and it's basically processed using RFID, it could automatically track where your bag is, and it could automatically get the bag to go and be delivered where you want it to be. Now, if you are using RFID technology, you means at the same time you're going to downsize the people, because RFID is really replacing the person. Instead of the person telling the bag where it needs to go and putting manual codes and stuff, RFID doesn't need any of this, doesn't need the people. You can actually go and get the person to do the job, automate things using the tag, and the tag will be able to make the tracking throughout the world. Now, when you do something like this, that needs project management. When you're going to go and say, in my business, I've had 1,000 people, and now I'm going to go and only employ 500, there are 500 positions gone. Now, that doesn't mean that the work of the bank or business or airline have reduced. The work is still there, but it means about I need to go and find a more efficient way for me to go and actually operate. And that more efficient things come in the form of what project do I need to go and be delivering to be able to still get the outcomes that I want to get without really affecting the quality that I would like to go and get. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're more focused on the customer. What does customer need? The customer have all of these various needs, and that's what we deliver through project. We talk about all of these small projects represent so many big problems, because there are so many problems that we're trying to go and solve for various businesses, inside the business, outside the business, our clients, and so on. All of these gets delivered through projects, which basically highlight the increasing importance of projects in our organization. Now, we talk a lot also about agile project management. I'm not going to talk a lot about agile project management now, but the simple thing I'm going to tell you about it, and you will have to do a lot of work on that for your assignment, because this is what a lot of people use in industry. So I need to teach you that. It's basically so many people were very unhappy with the traditional way of project management. They found themselves unable to go and really get things delivered how they wanted. They found themselves not getting exactly what the customer needed. So what they've done, they introduced the agile project management. It's a process that is incremental. It's like I have a piece, I add a piece to it, I add a third piece to it, fourth piece to it, and then I make that iterative and repetitive process all over and all over again to be able to kind of get my product, add to it, add to it, add to it, add to it, until I get something really delivered at the end. But the difference between that and traditional project management is in Agile, every component that we deliver, we could deliver component 1 in 4 weeks, I could give that directly to the customer and they can start to use it immediately. That's different to traditional project management, where if there are 20 components, I can only give them the outcome once I deliver all 20 components. In agile project management, if there are 20 components, every component means it's something ready for the customer. So component 1 is done, I can give it directly to the customer and they can start use it straight away. And I can get component 2 and add to component 1, and the customer could use it, and they could use it, and they could use it. So from the beginning, us start delivering value to the client using agile project management. So the way we operate in agile and traditional project management are different, but we'll talk more about them in due course. Now, I want you to know that there are two sides of project management we need to go and bear in mind. It's a lot of skills I need. You cannot deliver a good project unless you have the good socio-cultural skills. You need to be a good leader in project management. You need to be able to solve problems. You need to be able to work with your team to get the job done. You must negotiate with various people. You must be able to manage a lot of the politics. And organizations, my friend, are full of politics. You need to look at it, the customers, understand what they want, and you need to manage all of their expectations. And all of this, and we haven't even spoken about anything to do with the technical sides of project management. Because for your first task of your group assignment, you need to create a scope for me. You need to create what I know as a work breakdown structure. You need to create a schedule using Microsoft Project. You need to show me your allocated resources. You need to show me you thought about the budget. You need to show me you thought about reporting. So all of these components are things that I will make sure you are going to be learning and you are going to be applying as part of your assignment. So you must learn the sociocultural skills of project management and the technical skills of project management, which together enable you, my friends, to be able to go and achieve the right outcome. Does that make sense, my friends? Thumbs up. Thank you, Shristi. Anyone else? Mohammed, thank you, sir. Anyone else have any questions? Or in a nutshell, thank you, Tasmia. Alrighty. Now, guys, this is a very quick thing. I'm not going to go a lot about it, but I want you to go and open your tutorial document. And I want you to read case 1, a daily life, a day in the life. It's a very, very important case, but I'm actually now relating what I'm covering here in terms of the skills of project management. I'm relating this to what you see here. So I want you to go, and I want you to go to Moodle, and I want you to go and find that particular tutorial. So if you go to tutorial number 1, if you open that file, you will find a section here called a day in the life. So I want you to read that section. It's about 2 pages roughly. I want you to read it. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and then we'll start discussing what do you think in terms of that person and how that person is progressing in terms of the job of project management. And I remind you, all of these things that I'm giving you are very important. It's about really applying your learning, theory, application. They need to come together so that you guys really understand the things in terms of project management and how they need to go and be delivered. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes, guys, to read that case, and then we could start trying to go and understand us the questions about how Troy is actually operating. So 5 minutes to be able to make your reading. All right, guys, you guys have been reading. So my question to you now is, how effectively do you think Troy spent her day? Do you think she was working effectively or ineffectively, and why? What do you think? It's no right and wrong answer. It's all about really, picking up your knowledge and working from there.
I think she would have seen her, if she would have seen her emails or everything before she comes to the work, maybe it would have been more effective for her. And
so you think you're saying she needs to be working outside of business hours? to be able to.
Not like she came early. Instead of coming early, like 5-10 minutes in home, like before coming, she would have check everything. Then she would have come to office.
Okay,
Because
yeah, go on.
yeah, because in office when you go, you meet lots of people, and you can't, like sometimes you have to talk and you have to discuss about lots of things. And when you are ready for the day, if you have seen all the things what you are doing, you would have managed your day, or you have seen what yesterday I have got the emails or prepare for the day. It would have helpful for her for the whole day.
Okay, from a work perspective, I agree with you. If she listened to things, before she came, or she prepared and read it at home, that would have been, she would have basically know what she's having to go and do. Do you guys agree with your colleague that she should have basically done the work at home before she came to the office? What do you think? Let's have some discussion. What do you think? Do you guys agree?
Like sorry, like when I'm going to work, like it's a small job for
Yep.
me. Even I'm starting, I check all my emails and I read everything, then I go to work, so that I get prepared myself, like what's going on before, like 2-3 days, what's happening in my work, so that I can read up to like what I'm here, and then I start my job. For
No
me,
problem
I'm
at all.
like
100%, and that's called dedication. But I want to listen to other people. What do they think? Tasmia, what do you think? Mohammed, what do you think? Do you think that's a better approach? You think you should have done that? What do you think? What's your view?
What I think, she's already reviewing the next day, what she's going to do next day, tomorrow's schedule. So she's already reviewing that.
Yeah, she
But
did it
if
one day
it comes,
before. So she did it at
yeah,
night
if she's
time.
doing that,
Yep.
it's written there. And
Correct.
when it comes to the checking the emails, you can't check your email. Like, I was working in a bank, so the email I got, I only can log in from the bank's system. I can't log in while I'm at home. So it varies from company to company, whether they allow you to log in from your system or not.
Okay, and there's one more thing also. She might basically go and read an email in the morning, and maybe she didn't come to the office, and she might come to the office and there's an email she haven't read because it might have been urgent that came just now. So obviously now you're showing a different perspective. Thank you very much for showing that. Anybody else have a different perspective? Okay, let me ask you a question. Did she build relationships?
Yeah.
Okay, she spoke to various
She's
people.
meeting every person and talking to every person. And
okay, did she try to go and manage her mental capability?
Yes, she did meditate.
She did, yeah, she did meditate. She did basically spend. Did she try to plan her day?
yes, she did.
Did she try to solve problems?
She scheduled.
Yeah, did she try to solve problems?
Yeah, she spoke to the other department to solve that problem.
Did she negotiate? Did she negotiate with anybody? Let's go back. Did she show leadership? What do you think? What do you think, guys? Shristi, what do you think? Did she show leadership?
I think yes.
Yeah, how did she show it?
Because she was nice to everyone and she was listening.
Yeah.
And
so she was listening to people. She was building relationships. She knew that there was.
yeah.
She knew there was another friend of hers or another member who needed help, And she said, you know what, I'm going to go and help him now, because later if I need any help, he's going to help me. You can see that she was working with various teams. You can see that she was speaking to the client. She was negotiating by speaking to the client, speaking to the team, understanding what the what the team need, understanding what the client needs, and trying to get, things to work. She was trying to manage politics where someone is speaking to the client on, behind her back, managing that. She was, trying to fix expectations. She was managing planning, managing schedules. So she was doing a lot of things relating to the project management that he spoke about. Some people think that she didn't do a great job. Some people think she did a great job. I think she did a good job. The only reason, Shristi, I'm going to say I don't like her to work at home is because in project management, the job is very demanding. People basically a lot of time get there first and finish the last at work. If I'm going to go and get them to go and still have to go and do more work later at home, it means you are actually taking some time away from family. So I think a lot of time it is very good dedication. So many people do it, but I think it's also important to go and have what we call a work and life balance, because if you don't have that balance, the person might actually go and suffer, and their performance might actually go and suffer. And if their performance will suffer, the ability to get a good project is going to actually go and also suffer. Does that make sense? But honestly, I really respect what you said, because I am like that. I'm always kind of trying to do more and do things and try to get the outcome. But sometimes it actually have an impact on the person personally. So it's very important to look at that. Make sense? All right. Now there's more detailed responses available that I'm going to be posting for you guys to be able to study later. So make sure you kind of wait for that, and I'll be publishing that a bit later. But ladies and gentlemen, any questions in relation to the first chapter?
No, sir, no question.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to go and talk about the next chapter, but I know we've been going for about an hour, and I think we talk a lot because I want to teach you theory and practice together, but that's fine. I'm going to give you maybe 5 minutes break, and then we'll continue with the remaining information. We might go a bit more quicker with some of the remaining exercises, but you can go through them further when I publish the results and the solutions for you. But I'm going to give you 5 minutes break, guys, and we'll continue with the remaining information. So enjoy 5 minutes, rest up, and let's continue with the remaining information. Thank you very much for all your hard work, guys. Enjoy your rest time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to now talk about the next important topic, which is about how do we basically go and select projects that are actually related to the strategy of the business. A lot of times senior management take a long time to really go and approve a project. And if they take a long time to approve it, it means they are actually going to be wasting resources, because by the time they go and approve it, the technology has actually changed. And if the technology has changed, we cannot go and implement something, because that is simply going to go and waste our resources. So it's really about thinking about how strategy relates to what we're trying to go and do as part of the actual project. So we need to explain why it's important for managers to understand the strategy of the business. We need to identify the significant role projects contribute to the strategic direction. A project is there to meet the strategic needs of my business. We need to understand the need for projects priority system. How do we prioritize the goals? We need to distinguish among 3 kinds of projects. We need to apply financial and non-financial criteria to assess the value of projects. And we need to understand how criteria models can be used to be able to ensure we select the projects we would like to go and work on in an organization. Now, ladies and gentlemen, strategy is very, very important. Anytime I'm working on a project that is not really meeting my strategic needs of my business, it could be meaning I'm wasting my resources. Why do we need to think about strategy? Because a strategy is really about where does the business wants to be. When I know my strategy, I can respond to changes. Anytime I see a change in the environment outside, and anytime I see that that project that I'm working on is no longer needed, I can say, we no longer need to go and work on that particular outcome. Let's make a change accordingly. We need to think about strategy because resources are very limited in our business. And because resources are actually limited, we cannot actually go and use those resources in an inappropriate manner. We need to ensure there's a very clear goal. There needs to be a link between my projects and my mission. What am I trying to deliver? What is my mission? What are my goals? What are my objectives? What is my strategy? I need to have that linkages to ensure that I am not wasting my resources on something that doesn't really go and really add value. Now, why project managers need to understand the strategic management process? Because at any point of time, if there's a change into the environment and how we are operating, if the project we are working on is no longer going to be adding value, I need to go and basically adjust my work. I need to go and say, oh, those resources are working on a project that is no longer important for my business. And because of this, I am actually going to go and change the project and stop that project to be able not to waste any resources. We need to go and ensure as project managers, we need to demonstrate at any point of time that our project is really contributing to delivering the mission of the actual organization. If it's not, things will stop. We're going to have to go and stop working on those resources. When we think about strategy, we need to ask ourselves 3 questions. 1, what are we now? 2, what do we intend to be? And 3, how are we going to get there? What are we now? What's my current mission? What do we want to be? To know what you want to be, you need to know the environment. What is happening outside? What is happening in my business? What is happening outside my business? I need to make that adjustment. I need to make that learning. And that learning will basically tell me what I want to be based on how the environment is changing. How do we get there? My strategy that I have chosen to go and get a job done is going to take the form of projects. We're going to select the right projects. We're going to implement the right projects to be able to really go and get the job done. So formulating strategy, answering the question, what needs to be done to reach your objective? This is a strategy. You know, we're going to need to get the strategy. We need to set it. What do we need to do to be able to get to where we want to be? We need to evaluate something very specific. Let me look at the past. Where were we? Where are we now? What's happening outside? What's happening externally and internally? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats? And that will basically tell me where I need to be. Okay? Where I need to be is what needs to be done to reach my objective. What are the product and services I need to reach my objective? We implement our strategy through projects. So we go here. We implement our strategy by selecting all of these projects. What's the projects? We need to allocate all of my limited resources. Equipment, money, people. We need to set formal and informal organization. Let me get teams, let me get culture, let me get all of these things to be considered. Set formal and informal organization that help me to go and get projects and get the strategy to be implemented. Let me create the right plan. Let me try to go and actually create a control system to control my whole plan. Let me motivate all of my project contributors. It could be team members, it could be stakeholders, it could be other departments. Let me go and motivate them to be able to go and help us to deliver the project successfully. When we talk about a project, we need to select the right group of projects to work on because, as I said earlier, my resources are very limited. So I need to go and ensure I am using those limited resources in an appropriate manner to reach the right goals. Now, what do we need to do? We need to classify our projects. Are they an operational project? Are they a strategic project? We need to look at how are my projects being classified? Then I need to go and select a criteria, okay, selection criteria. So let's say I classified as an operational project. How do we choose which operational projects are we going to work on within the organization? We need to have a criteria to choose it. We need to decide the sources of proposals. Who can come and actually make a recommendation for a new operational project? How are we going to be evaluating all of those proposals to be able to choose which projects are we going to be working on at any point of time? How are we going to go and manage the portfolio of all of these projects? It's very important to manage that portfolio. How are we going to go and really manage all of these portfolios? When I think about the project, I think about different type of projects. A compliance project is a project that must be completed in order for you to go and operate. For example, can you guys open a childcare business if it's not considered to be safe? Can you open a childcare business if it is not considered to be safe? No. Why can't we? Is that a legal requirement? Is that a government requirement? Is that an organization requirement? What sort of requirement is that? Who gives you the permission to operate? Who will give me the decision to operate and open that center? Anyone? Yeah, correct, government. So this is what we call a compliance. It's projects in my organization that must be done in order for me to be able to go and operate. Strategic projects are long-term business that meet the strategic needs of my business. So long-term, what are we trying to go and get to in an organization on a long-term perspective? Operational project is really more about managing my day-to-day operation. You know, it might be a project because I can go and implement a new process because that process will help me to go and become much more operationally efficient. So it's an operational project, something that I'm trying to go and really do. I'm not going to go through that activity in very quick details, but let's have a read through that very quickly. And let's try to think about maybe the first three of these. And let's try to go and think, you know, what are they? You know, are they compliance? Are they strategic? Or are they operational? Let's just try to have a read through that. I want you to think about A, B, and C. So you manage a hotel located on South Beach on the island of Hawaii. You are shifting the focus of your resort from a traditional fun in the sun destination to ecotourism, which is more focuses on environmental awareness and education. How would you classify the following projects in terms of compliance, strategic, and operational? So guys, converting the pool heating system from electrical to solar, what do you think? Do you think that's operational? Do you think that's strategic? Or do you think that's compliance? What do you think? All right, Tasmia, you said operational. Could you please tell me why?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Sir, I think it's day-to-day business.
Day-to-day business. So we have a pool, we want to go and improve it from electrical to solar. We want to go and maybe reduce our electricity, and we're going to make it just better, you know, more cheaper. So we're going to make it operational.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does anybody disagree with that assessment by our colleague Tasmia?
Yes, sir.
Anybody disagrees, guys?
Um,
All right, they seem to agree with you. What about building a 4-mile nature hiking trail? What do you think? Operational, strategic, or compliance? Come on, who would like to give me a response? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Neeraj, what do you think, my friend? Come on, you can speak to me instead of putting responses. Okay, Shristi, you said strategic. Could you please explain to me why you believe it's strategic?
Because the hotel who build like a 4-mile, they may be strategy like for attracting more tourists to their hotel.
So they want to be seen as an ecotourism hotel. They want to basically show environmental awareness. They want to show environmental education. That building of the hiking trail is actually helping them meet their long-term strategic needs in the business.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
What about renovating the horse barn? What do you think? What do you think? Renovating the horse barn, is that strategic, operational, compliance? Come on, my friends, we don't have a lot of time and there's a lot to still do. All right. Yeah, I agree with that. It's more operational. Okay, let me ask you this other one. What about updating all the bathrooms that are 10 years or older? What do you think that is? Updating all the bathrooms that are 10 years or older. I can see an answer from Shristi. Anyone else? There's a lot of time there are. Yes,
Sorry,
go on.
might be strategy as well.
What's that?
Because it's updating, so it might be strategy of the hotel as well.
It could be, but it's actually more
Could be.
compliance because a lot of times it's actually you need to be complying with a legal regulation. There might be legal regulations relating to that. So you need to kind of have a more compliance in that particular example. But this, you can see that, you know, there might be more than one response, but it depends of how you think about it from your reasoning perspective to be able to decide which category does it really fit in. But I want you to go and continue with all of these other categories. I want you to think about them before you see the solution on the system that I'm going to be loading for you to ensure you had the opportunity to go and use your chain of thoughts to be able to apply your learning about what I'm teaching you today. So make sure you spend that time before you see the answers, my friends. Now, we have so many various ways for us to be able to go choose the project. We can select the project by using a financial approaches and measurement. For example, we might be having a payback method, net present value method, internal rate of return method. There are so many various methods that we'll be able to go and use financially to be able to go and decide whether financially that project looks good for us to go and implement. You might be having so many non-financial aspects, such as does the project really fit with the strategic needs of my organization? You have multi-weighted scoring models, which can have so many various weight for various selection criteria. So we might have, if it's, let's say, if I want to buy a car, if it's white, I might give it a weight of 0.3. If it's red, I will give it 0.1 because I don't like red. So you put various weights for various criteria, and you try to basically evaluate a particular option according to that criteria. For example, you think about the payback method. What is a payback method? It's a financial method. It basically tells you how long is it going to take me to be able to go and get the money that I've invested for that particular project. Now, that payback method might be a good method, but it have a limitation. Why? Because $1 today is worth $1. $1 in 5 years' time is worth less than $1 because the money does lose value with time. So you need to go and think about what approach, the payback method is one approach, but it doesn't look about the value of cash flow at any point of time. It basically assumes cash inflow for the investment period. So let's say you go and invest $300,000, and let's say you go and you get that $300,000 in 1 year, you get it back. It will say, okay, you will get your money back in 1 year. Oh yeah, great, but how much profit would I make? This method doesn't tell you. What if you make $1 million from it? You might not know. Maybe it will. But if you don't have that information, you won't be able to make the analysis appropriately. Does not really consider profitability. How much profit are you really able to go and get from that system? For example, you see here, project A, I invest 700,000, I get 225,000 per year, which means 700,000 divided by 225,000. I'll be able to get my money back in 3.1 years. In comparison, project B, I will get my money in 3.6 years. Which one is going to go and get me quicker? A is going to give me the money quicker, but B will also give me the money quickly. They're both going to take less than 5 years to give me the money. They're both going to give me a return of over 15%. And because of that, I am accepting both of these projects to be able to go and proceed. But you notice it's showing you, when do I get my money back? We want to know how much profit would you get. It's not very clear. It's not highlighting that information. Now, there are so many non-financial reasons why we would go and choose a project. For example, I might go and select the project because I could gain a bigger market share, because I could make it more difficult for people to go and compete with me, because I could deliver a product which will help me to go and when I introduce it, get much more sell, increase sales in more profitable product, because I get this product and it's going to help me to go and sell more of my products that I can get more money from. I can develop a core technology that will be used in my next generation of products, or I can even reduce how much dependency I have on another supplier who is controlling me now. All of these are what we call non-financial strategic criteria. I need to do them to get the right goals. A lot of time we use a checklist model, answer a question, and based on this question, we try to see whether we should basically do a project. For example, I could ask question about the culture of the business. Is our culture right for us to deliver this project? Will internal resources be available? How long will it take? Is the timeline realistic? Do I need to train my people? What is the estimated cost for the project? How does this project interact with all the current projects? Is the technology available, or is it a brand new technology that I'm going to go and actually get? So this is a sort of what we call a sort of questions. This is a sort of checklist. We kind of go and ask a lot of questions, and based on those questions, we'll be able to go and make a selection of a particular project. So you can see here, that's the example of the sort of questions we might go and we might be asking. I spoke earlier about a multi-weighted scoring models. We might give, several weights. We might use a qualitative measures and we might use a quantitative measures to be able to go and really choose which particular project we are really going to actually be working on. So it allows for comparison of projects with other potential project. I compare project 1 with project 2 with project 3 because there's particular ways we can make the comparison. For example, you see here, I have many projects. Project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and. What criteria am I using to be able to go and decide which project I'm going to be working on? Well, there's 1 criteria, 2 criteria, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. How much weight am I giving per criteria? Stay with core competencies, I'm giving it a weight of 2. Strategic fit, I'm giving it a weight of 3. Urgency, I'm giving it a weight of 2. 25% of sales, I'm giving it a weight. So there's different weight being given to different criteria. The higher the weight, the more important. So the most important criteria between all of these is strategic fit and a return on investment that is over 18%. They are the most important criteria for us, and that's why we gave them the highest weight. Guys, what comes after strategic fit and return on investment? Which criteria is the next most important criteria?
25% of sale from new product.
Yeah, 25% is 2.5. So it's basically less important than strategic fit and return on investment, but it's still very important. What comes after this 25% of sales? What criteria is more important, is less important than this
Within core
criteria?
competencies.
Stay with core competencies and the urgency. They both equal 2. And the least important criteria is reduces the effect to less than 1%. It's been given as a 1. It's not the most important criteria. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Now, what do you do after you choose your criteria and after you choose your weight? What you do is you go and try to evaluate each of these projects. 1 being not very important, 9 being very, very important, or the highest the better. So, project 1, does it help me to go and stay within my core competency? 1, what does that mean? No, it doesn't really help me to do that. 3, yeah, it doesn't help me much, but it's better than project 1. 9, oh yeah, project 3 will really, really help me to stay within my core competency. Does that make sense? So you evaluate each project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, based on each criteria. So strategic fit, which project is really fitting with my strategic needs of my business? Which of these projects, guys, is really fitting with my strategic needs of the organization?
Project 5.
Project 5. Is it? Yes, it is. Project 5. When and then after, which one is it really fitting? After project 5.
1.
Project 1, 100%. It's an 8. Now I want you to understand. Now, how do we use these numbers with these numbers? The way you use them is you need to calculate the totals. 2 multiply 1 equal how much? 2 multiply 1.
2.
2 plus 3 multiply 8 plus 24 plus 2 multiply 2 plus 2.5 multiply 6 plus 1 multiply 0 plus 10 multiply 6, sorry, 1 multiply 6 plus 3 multiply 5 will give me the total for that project. For this one, 2 multiply 3 plus 3 multiply 3 plus 2 multiply 2 plus 2.5 multiply 0 plus 10 plus 1 multiply 0 plus 1 multiply 5 plus 3 multiply 1 will give me the total for this project. So when I use this criteria and this weight and the evaluation of each project and start multiplying my evaluation per importance factor, I'll be able to get the totals of all of these various projects. So based on these totals, guys, which project is the best for my organization? Yes, I can see Shrisi saying project 5 is the most important. That's 100%. It's going to give me the most value, followed by project N, followed by project 1, and so on. And that's how we go and calculate the multi-weighted factor model. Does that make sense, my friends? Is that clear? Yes? All right. Great, guys. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to have time to really go through this activity, but I'm going to just open it very quickly to really explain to you what it's asking you. What it's basically giving you, and I want you to go and do it during your own time. It's basically giving you this information about the company. It's telling you what the company wants to achieve, what are the things it must achieve, what are the things that it wants to achieve, and it's telling you there's a job. This is your assignment. It's saying, I want you to go and prioritize each of these projects that are available here. So the way you evaluate them, you need to read each scenario and ask questions before starting step 2. So you need to kind of read that. You need to use the priority evaluation form to individually assess and rank the proposal. And then you need to kind of, you're not going to do that in a group, but you need to go and discuss the results. So if you go and think about that, there is this sheet. You have project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you have here 7 proposals. Each proposal is telling you what the probability is of getting a specific return. So you're going to need to go and evaluate it. For example, if you see here, is the project going to give me a return of under 18%, 18 to 22, or over 22? Let's go and think about project 7. How much return is it going to give me? Is it going to give me a high return or a low return? There's an 80% chance it's going to be a 9% return. 50% chance it's going to be a 15% return. So let's come. Can you tell me based on that, would you give it a 0, a 1, or a 2? Is it going to give me less than 18%? Or
Yes,
more
sir.
than 18%? Less than 18%. So based on that, would you evaluate that project as a 0, as a 1, or as a 2?
0.
0. So 70 multiplied 0 is how much?
0.
0. And that's where you need to go and look at the criteria of each project. You need to read what that project is all about. And based on your reading and based on understanding what we're trying to go and do, which is your objective, the want objective and the must objective of the actual organization, you need to go and actually evaluate each of these proposals, put these answers here in this table, and based on that, decide, calculate the weighted score model like we just did now. So you might say 1, okay, 70 multiply 1 is 70, plus 60 multiply 1 is whatever, 60, plus 10 multiply 1 is 10. So you get the total. And then from there, by calculating the totals and by thinking about the qualitative criteria here, you can make a decision on which one of these projects are we going to choose, which one is the most important. Once you go and engage in that activity, I would want you to go and evaluate it against the answers that we provided you, which I'll put for you on the system. And from there, you'll be able to go and try to, try to see what answers I provided and how do these answers fit with the answers you guys have provided. Now, something like this, for example, this specific exercise, sometimes I give it in your midterm exam. Sometimes I give it in your final exam. So please make sure you do engage in that activity when you have a minute. Is that clear?
Yep.
All right, so don't just, as we said, there's 7 more hours you need to go and do, so make sure you're doing those hours as you basically need to go and show your hard work in the course. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. I want you to know that I always will give you more exercises than what we can do in the class. And the reason is very simple, is because I want you to make sure you're engaging with all of those exercises. And I want to make sure you guys are basically learning beyond what I simply do in the classroom. But as you've seen, I've been trying to create your ability to go and cover a theory, and then you'll be able to go and apply it or make an exercise, because I want you to remain engaged and I want you to be learning to the best of your ability. All what I'm going to say to you guys is please review the lecture slides and the notes you've taken. I'm not going to put the answers just yet. Maybe I'll put them towards the end of the week. I'll give you an opportunity to engage into all of those exercises yourself before I put the responses there. Get familiar with the Moodle sites, read and understand the requirements of your assessment, and read chapters 1 and 2. Now, I also want to tell you, if you would like to go and choose particular people to work with in your group, please email me the details of those team members so that I can add you to that group, and I'll be able to go and make you work together. But I need that by Monday next week, because I need to be assigning the groups by Monday next week to be able to get you to go and work together on that assignment. You need to start working on that assignment very, very quickly. I want to say I care so much about you guys. You're not a number in my classroom. You're an individual. You're a human being. I care about your success. I hope you see that. And I hope you see that I keep on calling you, keep on following up with you, because I want you to do very well and I want you to pass this subject and I want you to get a great career. So please continue engaging, come on time, keep on coming to the classes from the beginning all the way to the end. And remember one very thing, I really care about you. Thank you very much for all your time. I look forward to see you again next week. And if you need anything between now and then, please email me or make contact. I'm very happy to go and help you. Have a great night, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good night.
See you, sir. Thank you.